coldest thing your sibling ever did to you? I was diagnosed with leukemia at 14. The doctor said I needed a bone marrow transplant, and my sister was the only perfect match in our family. When my parents told her, she just stared at the floor and said she needed time to think. I lay in that hospital bed, pretending I didn't hear her through the thin walls, arguing that she was scared of needles. 3 days later, she agreed, but I saw it in her eyes. She resented me. The day before the procedure, she sat on my bed and told me she was only doing this because our parents made her feel guilty. Then she made me promise that when we got older, I'd give her my kidney if she ever needed one. I was so desperate that I promised her anything. The transplant worked. I survived. My sister went back to her normal life while I was still weak and homebound. She'd come home from parties and whisper to her friends, I basically saved her life, and now everyone expects me to keep taking care of her. Years passed. I went to college across the country, putting distance between us. Then last Christmas, I flew home for the holidays. During dinner, she clinked her glass and announced she was pregnant. Everyone cheered, but then she looked directly at me and said, and I have a kidney condition that might get worse after delivery. The table went silent. My mother's fork froze halfway to her mouth. My sister kept staring at me, waiting. She wasn't asking. She was collecting on a debt, a promise made by a terrified, dying 14-year-old. I excused myself, splashed cold water on my face, and came back smiling. But as soon as I returned to my apartment, I called the best kidney specialist in the country. The doctor confirmed what I suspected. My sister's condition was mild. She didn't need a transplant. She just wanted to secure one for the future. The doctor also told me something else. Donating would put my life at risk because of my leukemia history. I flew home with my medical records and asked my sister to meet me. When she arrived, her hand rested protectively over her barely showing pregnancy. I slid the folder across the table. I can't give you my kidney, I said quietly. It would put my life at risk because of my leukemia. Her face flushed red. But you promised, she hissed. I saved your life. I looked at her for a long moment. You didn't save my life. Mom and Dad made you do it, and you've held it over my head ever since. I never asked you to save me. She started to argue, but I cut her off. I've registered as a bone marrow donor. I've donated 3 times to strangers. I've saved 3 lives, and I never asked any of them for anything in return. Her eyes widened as I stood up. I left cash on the table and walked to the door. Then I turned back and said, the coldest thing isn't what you did when we were kids. It's that you're still doing it now.